You
Yeah,
see me, guys?
Yeah.
we're good.
All
Just
right,
some
let's
technical
go.
difficulties for those watching at home.
So
Yeah, wrapping up with Don, moving on to our
yeah,
next rank. So coming in at the next spot, which is the number 8 spot, is Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen was 0-4. He finally got his first win. Little golf clap for him. Very nice. Chris Hansen, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We've talked about this for weeks now. He's the type of guy who drafts the guy he likes. He has his guys that he picks, and he doesn't show off them. That being said, he is now stuck with Rashad Penny and Duke Johnson and Muhammad Sanu in his starting lineup. He refuses to pick anyone besides the guys that he knows and the guys that he trusts. Adam Quinn he has every year. Deshaun Watson, I feel as if he has every year. He's not been willing to make trades. I tried to offer him trade for Zach Ertz. His response was, "I'm going down with the ship." I hope this is not me giving up. He's got Cooper Kupp and Adam Quinn, his two most consistent receivers in fantasy. Running backs are very, very slow for now, especially with Saquon out. I don't know how much longer he's going to come back. I think he'll come back next week. But if he doesn't, I think the season is looking to come to an end for Chris. What do you guys think about Chris as a manager?
yeah. So I think, like you said, he's a ride or die player guy and a guy. And I think we all have our guys. I mean, I do. If you played fantasy enough, I think you do. Dude, he's got a good team. You could tell where his issue is. Junior, what do you think his issue is?
I'm going to say running back here.
Yeah. Okay. So anyone can clearly see that running back is the major issue here. There's no floor in running back. And then obviously finding a flex player, so that's depth. So,
Right.
I mean, but other than that, if Watson can play what Watson did this week, and we know he could have good weeks, he hasn't showed it till now, and you have Thielen, Cup, and Ertz. I mean, you almost have a full team, but it's short. You're short. It'd be nice to only have one running back that he needs to replace, but he needs two running backs. Like, he doesn't even have a starting running back one.
No,
That's
I mean,
a problem.
Naeem Hines alone shouldn't be starting, I don't think. I mean, if
He's
that's
got no depth to trade. So, Barkley's out, right?
Yeah, Barkley's out. I mean, if you had Barkley in, it'd be a different
So
story.
at least he'd have one.
Right, but even then, it's still rough
So
there.
he should have traded right away when Barkley got hurt.
Yeah.
So, but these are the things. When's Barkley coming back? 6 weeks, dude? Like,
he should be back within the next 2 weeks.
you don't think somebody who's doing good, even like someone like me, can't trade you a good enough running back to hold on to Barkley for later on that gives you that value to get you to the playoffs?
Right.
I know that sounds crazy, but like you can find a way to make a trade work. If Gurley or Bell get hurt, and I'm not in the situation I am now where I'm 4-1, or things start going south, I'm trying to sell them out or sell them high, as we like to say, when they have the value to sell. You get what I'm saying, though, Dill?
I agree.
Let them go, find the value now, and make your team better, right?
Chris has never been able to make trades. I think in the history of this league, he's been in since pretty much the beginning.
He's probably a Giant fan.
He's never made a single trade. He's really a ride or die type of guy. Going to go down with the ship. He made his bet. He's going to run.
He's got a bunch of wide receivers.
But he's just not known to make moves. And in this league, the waiver wire gets thin real quick. It's very competitive. And with that attitude, I don't know how far I can make it. It's not looking like a playoff year for Chris.
Does anyone else feel like we're having a real shift in fantasy football this season? In players, personnel,
I think
like error-wise, it's like this is a big shift.
I think that I'm realizing a lot about the individual managers as how they act mid-season. Guys they like to draft. Their pros and cons in terms of making trades, picking guys.
Yeah.
Controversy.
I was actually more just talking about real NFL players that we're using, but I do agree with that too. I think the NFL is changing too.
Every year.
Yeah.
NFL was predictable, and it went the way it was supposed to go. Fantasy wouldn't be fun because who's going to win by the first week. That's why we play it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of us are getting too reliable on some of the older guys, like going back to the huge team and stuff.
So after Chris, we got Tooch coming in. Tooch is coming in at the next spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Tooch is coming in at the number 7 spot. in terms of ranking, he is actually in the fifth spot in terms of overall standings. We have 7 in my power rankings. I mean, baby, I'm gonna let you start because you've been a big advocate for Tuch's team. You've been preaching the gospel about how great his team is
You
going
guys
to
hear me?
be, how you totally see him as being a playoff team. Yes, we hear you. Tuch has put up the least pointing in the league, I think twice so far. He did it last week. He didn't even break 100. What's going on with your boy Tooch, man? Is he out? Did he just have a rough stretch? Or what's going on? I know you're a big advocate.
Yeah, we definitely didn't think we'd be discussing him in the eighth spot.
Seven
I know
spot,
it's only been 2 weeks, but
7 spot, but least
I mean,
points in the league.
yeah, correct. Still, I mean, you know where I had him, top 2. So, well, definitely top 3. What happened last week? I got to look at this now because this is a tough break, right?
92 points.
He's definitely had a tough. I mean, obviously, I beat him the week before last week, so that was one thing that happened. And then last week was who?
Don.
Tooch lost to Don, 100
Lost
to 92.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he didn't even break 100 points.
That is the upset of the week, sure.
God, Philip Rivers. I mean, there we go, another old guy that we're hanging our hat on.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Philip Rivers can still sling the ball, but is his floor really there anymore?
I'm with you on that.
Does he have a backup quarterback?
He's got. No, he doesn't.
I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks still out there. I mean, like
you can stream
Minshew. Like Minshew's gonna have like almost a 20-point floor. It's not amazing, but that's good enough.
You could definitely stream a quarterback every week.
And it's funny because obviously Allen goes along the way Rivers goes. So I mean, the connections always help out teams, but then you can kind of get screwed on them too. So I think that's what happened. Waller only putting up 8 points is surprising when he's like their only receiver that they're targeting. And McCoy, yeah. So maybe he didn't know Williams was coming back this week. I mean, I did the same thing in the other league. I didn't get McCoy off my roster quick enough. So it is possible he did what I did. And that sucks because he definitely wasn't utilized anymore. Or at least nearly as much, that's for sure.
I mean, I have to agree. He has a good team. Just looking at it alone, he's got.
Zeke
is great.
He fell asleep this week. But look at his bench. Nothing helped.
But I mean, I like Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, he was out. That was his week off. So maybe it's his depth that's starting to bite him in the ass.
Back this week, and he comes back to a great matchup against Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then even Zeke.
I mean,
against the Jets. Beat up Jets.
If he had a different quarterback in, that's not enough, man. And then maybe put in Miles Sanders.
I don't know. It's just his team just looks beat up. But he has potential. Yeah, he definitely has potential. I think he could be a top 5 team for his team. If his team showed up, Philip Rivers played like Philip Rivers and Keenan Allen played like Keenan Allen, and so on, I think he can have a fantastic team. I mean, he's projected 130, but he didn't even break 100, which is very surprising.
You know what this is the case of, Dill?
What do you think?
I think it's the case of I'm going to get too complacent with how good I drafted. You know what I mean? I have Elliott and who's the other one on his team? I lost his complete team. It's not hard doing this much. Ingram, who started off great, and Kerryon Johnson and Keenan Allen in my receiver spot. Are they all amazing? Yes. mainly Sanders stepped up in the first couple weeks. Why not go for depth though? Why not find other options when things go wrong? And I think that's stuff that me and you do all the damn time. Sal, we fill our roster. We even Junior tries to do. We try to stack our bench. I think it's that scenario. My starting team is going to take me the whole way. Matchup basis, things change. Like you can't rely on the same people.
You gotta change it up.
He was we kind of had the lock to make the playoff.
Yeah. It's not clearly way out of the playoffs.
No, he's definitely not out of the playoffs.
But very interesting.
But I'm just very I'm surprised to see him where he's at right now. He's kind of
take it back.
He's got.
You can't buy into the whole thing yet.
Yeah, he's got an easy game versus Chance Squared this week, so I would expect him to get back on top. But he's known to be getting upset. He got upset 2 weeks in a row by you. Got upset by Don.
He has Kerryon Johnson though.
Yeah, he.
Why not get rid of one of the running backs?
I mean,
For
I've been
more
prepared.
consistency. Dude, I would have gave away Kerryon Johnson last week on the bye week because someone would have taken him for later on when they needed him.
While he's got value, I think he'll keep his value through the whole season. But
so that's the other thing too. It's not just trading; it's also knowing when to trade people, and when it helps you as well, obviously. So
absolutely,
it's fucking hard. I know, and especially in this league, nobody wants to fucking get trades done.
Everyone's scared of trades. I think they're very slow.
Trust me, our committee, we are completely unbiased. We're going to get the job done as far as when we get the trade, but you guys need to come to agreement and figure out trades.
Stay alone. I propose
not be afraid of it.
Equal trades. One that's still pending approval.
Yeah. He stole a player from me this week.
Frank.
Next
because I do not want to be stuck on Cooch all night. We are going to jump to a different Nick, but this is Nick Liguori. Nick Liguori has auto-drafted the majority of his team, but Nick Liguori comes in at the third most points for in the entire league. He's very unlucky to be 2-3. I think he has one of the most points against in the league. Nick Liguori is coming off a loss. Joey Kempel's first win. This was very shocking to me. I expected Nick to run away with this one. Aaron Jones almost brought him back in. Monster performance from him, but he couldn't get any production out of Mike Evans. DeAndre Hopkins has not looked the way of the DeAndre Hopkins we all know. O.J. Howard has not lived up to his pre-draft type of the tight end spot. I still think Nick's team is good. I don't think it's great. I still think he needs an RB2. We've been saying this for a couple weeks now. He's
RB2
with Kenyon Drake right now, and Junior said it before. If you're starting any Miami Dolphin in your starting lineup, you're pretty desperate.
I'll agree with that.
What? He does have an RB2.
You think he's going to put Coleman in there?
I don't think he has an amazing RB2, but he should not be starting Kenyon Drake over Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman back.
Look at the two teams. Like, is Kenyon Drake maybe a better player? I mean, maybe.
I mean, maybe he's against a Redskins.
You need to look at circumstances. How many touches they're getting, what team, how good that team's doing.
Well, Miami obviously
wants to ride the fucking Kenyon Drake train. It's going to go the opposite direction the Gallman train went for him.
I mean, he's definitely streaming running backs every week. I mean, he put a big chunk in for Gallman and then kind of got screwed there.
Yeah, he also won a game off of him, so.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he put a big.
He got fucked. That's what happens, though.
It's completely take over for Barkley until Barkley came back, and then he went all in for Hillman again, and I don't think he's going to do anything this week, especially.
Yeah, we're gonna hit on this every week if he doesn't do something about this Mike Evans and Godwin on the same team combo.
Yeah, I mean,
Evans goose egg. So.
Yeah, him getting that goose egg really sucks, but he could be a top wide receiver. But Godwin alone is awesome. He's a end zone target.
Well, we're back in that discussion now. Like, people aren't as high on taking Evans for people because he just goose egged. He should have sold him when he put up 40 points that 1 week.
Times, but I deny that. I just don't like him. To me, he doesn't have much appeal.
Right.
I mean, I agree with that, but people would have been nicer to like him when he was going off.
Yeah, I agree, especially before the goose egg.
Yeah, now he's not going to get nearly the value he was looking to get. In Nick's defense, he did try to ship him out when he had that big week.
He did, but he was saying how stupid fucking trades, and
they were.
But I kind of caught on to him trying to sell Mike Evans high. So I declined. I think he was asking a little bit too much for me personally. I don't know who else he offered,
and then that shied away everyone else. So
yeah,
that's how this league is.
Yes. So I'm not even sure if Nick listens to this or will ever listen to this. Good fantasy player, knows what he's doing. Expects him to make moves. He's in that that borderline 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8 range, fighting for one of those last playoff spots. He's got everyone beat out of the 2 and 3 teams on points for. He's the third most points in the league, actually. So, I mean, if he picks up a couple wins, I think he could be back in there. He's got a big matchup coming up this week for our next rank, which is our current guest on the show, Junior. Franz Easel versus Zeke Freaky is a big matchup coming up this week. Junior, what do you think about your squad? What do you think about your rank, where you're at? And how you foresee the future coming for your squad? It seems like you're a little banged up at the running back position right now with no Marlon Mack this week out on bye. What do you foresee happening, buddy?
Personally, I mean, after looking at my team, I don't see. I mean, I like my team personally, and not just because it's my team. I mean, I work the waiver wire every single week, as you can see. I mean, I picked up Herndon, which was huge in my opinion, but of course now he's questionable. He's probably not even going to play. And a big thing with Herndon too, everyone wanted him. Everyone wanted him. I got him late. Sal tried to trade for him the day I got him off the waiver. He easily could be a tight end one. He had a great connection with Sam Darnold last year. And I was hurting for a tight end big time. So I picked him up immediately. But then you got Adam Gase, our head coach, one of the arguably the worst coaches in the NFL. He's sitting here trying to say that you're probably not going to start Herndon. He wants to see him in practice when Herndon absolutely lit it up in preseason. I think when he gets healthy, he does have tight end one potential, which could definitely benefit me, considering I had no one at that position before him. And then I also picked up this week on the waiver wire, I had Alexander Madison, which easily, if Dalvin Cook ever got hurt, will take over that position and do just as good as Dalvin Cook, if not better some days. And then Chase Edmonds. David Johnson's got the back injury, and I needed to fill my RB spot this week because Marlon Mack was out, and Chase Edmonds had the most appeal to me. This week, by far, was definitely the toughest week on waiver wires. I think it was just so thin. Just because I would say because there was no injuries, really, so no one's getting hurt and no one's taking over anyone's position besides David Johnson, maybe even Gallman. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. I like Calvin Ridley. He's pretty consistent, but that could trade off eventually. Who knows? And Austin Eckler, I'm liking him. Hopefully he keeps that PPR going. We'll see. So, I think I'm happy where I'm at right now. Just hopefully get some more wins.
Sal, what do you think about Junior's team?
The real version or the fake version?
A good one.
No, Junior. I know we get on your shit. It's all for the fun of the league. You know what I mean? They get on me just as much. So, I mean, of course, I love Dakota Prescott, not just as a player, but as a fantasy player this season. He's putting up numbers, dude. I think he's still in the top 4, right? He's been carrying your team through. Juju finally woke up a bit, even though I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback this week.
I think that's my only concern.
So, yeah, quarterback's an issue there. I picked up Deontay Johnson, who was kind of taking his deep threats, and I'm already planning on dropping his butt this week because the quarterback situation. So, Robert Woods has been shadowed as a third so far. Eckler, me and Dill watched him this weekend, laughing every time he caught a ball, one after another, and this guy's just got in a tremendous floor. So he's the heartbeat of your team with Dak. Edmonds, obviously, I like the pickup. I didn't think you'd had to start him this week. Is Mac out? They're off. They're on a bye. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'd play him over Madison. So you're gonna have to hope for another good week from him there. If Herndon, how do you say his name again? Herndon. If he does not play this week, do you have another tight end?
I don't. I'm gonna have to stream one.
That's tough. Okay.
More.
Yeah, that's tough. And even if he does, he's not gonna have an explosive start. I don't think, especially against the Cowboys. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's gonna be amazing, even if he did. Ridley, up and down? I want to assume. Yeah.
Yeah, he went up and down, but pretty consistent.
He had a good week. Yep. Yeah, dude. I mean, hopefully Tate can step it up. Kurt's coming back. Hopefully your depth can start giving you some options.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on for a second there too, though, real quick, because I was big on him. I picked him up. I couldn't wait for him to come back from the suspension. I thought he was going to just go off. I don't know if it's because he never had a connection with Daniel Jones as much as he did Eli. I don't know. I could misunderstand that. But I just think he needs more of a workload, and I think he'll get it eventually, especially with Sterling Shepard out.
Oh, yeah.
And who else is out?
Shepard's huge.
And Evan Ingram. So, I mean, he was actually going to start my flex this week, but I feel like I can't sit Calvin Ridley and take the risk because I mean they're playing New England, so I don't know how that's going to work. So I have him on the bench.
Think about it too. Rookie quarterbacks, they obviously have to build a report, and he just got back all that, but that's always going to be a big part of it. But they have to they try. Rookie quarterbacks generally try to spread the ball. Right. They don't want to look like the guy that they don't want to throw to certain people. Like they try to get the easy passes underneath when they can, things like that. Obviously, Daniel Dimes, right? and does take some shots down the field, which I think should start opening up for Tate, and that's really what you need. You know, his receptions will increase. I can't see it, especially with Shepard out. I think he can get to an 8 reception game, but can he get that down the field touchdown as well? That would really blow him up. So I mean, I don't think you test the waters just yet unless you need to.
And I did this
It's
last
tough, dude.
Yeah.
Inverse Ridley is pretty close, and right now Ridley's just gonna give you a better floor at the moment.
If they weren't playing New England, it'd be a different story, but I just can't do it.
Yeah, what do you think, Dilla, as far as starting Tate and when to start Tate?
I think Tate will be all right. He's going to take him a little bit to figure out. He's also, if you look at the Giants injury report, Tate's really the only guy we have. We have no Sterling Shepard. We have no Evan Ingram this week. So if Dan Jones is going to throw it at someone, I guess it's going to have to be to Tate. I think Calvin really gives you that upside, though. He's so fast, so explosive that he's always good for a big game. Yeah, he scored 16 week 1, 24 week 2, week 3 and 4 were a little bit rough. Then he came back with a 20-point performance in week 5. So if you're trying to hit big, I think I would go with him. We know Junior has a big week ahead, so I think that.
Who are you playing again? What's the big rivalry?
He's coming against Nicky. Nicky is one spot behind him.
Nico or
yep. So we got
okay.
3 and 2 versus 2 and 3.
Yeah, Junior, I would call this a swing game for you, buddy.
Yeah, he's
you know what I mean.
The bottom 6, top 3.
That just shows how important this game is.
Let's transition right from Junior to another guest we have on the show. My co-host for the day, Baby Sal. You are coming in the power ranks at number 4. You are ranked number 3 in the league with the 3rd least points in the entire league. A lot of people have said you've gotten lucky. People have said you shouldn't be in the position you're in. You have the second least points against in the entire league besides Don. You've had a gracious schedule. You spent a lot of your waiver budget. There's a lot to critique you on, but what people cannot talk shit about is your record, man. You're 4-1. You're breathing down the top dog's neck, regardless of points for and budget and all that. Where do you stand on all this? What do you got to say to those people, and how do you see your team moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I can go back to, I want to say, week 1 or 2 podcasts before I even got on as a guest. You said something regarding my team about, it's more or less what receiver to start each week. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's come down to on my roster. It's been tough. Like last week, I listened to the podcast that I wasn't on, and it was talking about, start your starters. And I do believe in that philosophy, but Diggs has obviously been an interesting issue this year. Didn't practice all week. In my heart of hearts, and I'm a coach. We all know this, right? I coach soccer. It's my life now. I didn't want to start the guy. Dude, come on, not being even if he was ready to go, I didn't think Kirk Cousins or the team was scripted to give him the ball. Why would you want to give him the ball when he doesn't come to freaking practice? Didn't want to start him. I stuck with him, hoping that he'd still have a floor, and I stuck to my guns with what I listened to, and I benched Chark, who's been my go-to since I took a gamble on him, and I'm just using this week as an example. I'm not making excuses. I left about 30 points on the bench. If you add 30 points to my points for, I'm actually right there, at least in the middle of the pack, at least, and that's just this week. So yes, I'm pulling off the victories. They're not clean. It's fucking stressful. Even though I'm not saying it. But I think I'm going to continue winning. I don't think it'll be as close every goddamn week. I just got to make better decisions on the receivers. I think my floor for my running backs are there, like I expected. That's the way I drafted it, and I have Patrick Mahomes. So I have my 2 running backs. I have my quarterback. I'm just hoping to make the right choices there, and I need a tight end. I'm stuck with Witten, and I picked up Njoku, and I'm sitting him on IR for another 10 weeks, whatever it is, 8 weeks, and hoping he comes back. But I got some depth at receiver. It just matters, like I said, who's gonna consistently give me enough to win games. That's really it. I mean, Gallup's back, which I love too. So. Amari Cooper's been amazing, but Gallup's been just as good at times. So
I like that Gallup play. I mean, when Gallup's healthy, he dropped 24, 12,
lost him for 2 weeks,
and 24 again. He got a 6. He's never got when he's played. He's never got less than 6 catches. Yeah, I think he's a big part of the Cowboys offense. I even said it when we were sitting down last week watching the game that they needed him back. He opens a lot of things up for them.
Yeah,
I
he got that game back in track.
I liked him coming out of college when he originally came into the NFL. I figured that this would be his year that he would kind of break out a little bit and live up to the expectations he had. Junior, Baby Sal's team is right next to yours. You're breathing down his neck. 3-2, and then he's 4-1. You guys are probably going to cross paths, whether it's the playoffs or sometime soon. What do you think about his team? Do you think he could sustain these close victories that he's kind of squeaking out, or do you think that his true colors will show and he'll start to drop in the ranks?
Actually, I think it's going to be the opposite here. I think his true colors are going to show, and I think he's actually going to stay on top, and they're not going to be close wins. He might even be pulling like 20-point wins, like 10 to 20-point wins here. I love Cortland Sutton personally. I'm in my other league, and he's got a high floor. The only thing I don't like is he's obviously got Joe Flacco thrown to him, which kind of scares me against Emmanuel Sanders. But I like Cortland Sutton. He's definitely a high floor. Stephon Diggs, Le'Veon Bell, obviously, he's been a big part of our offense, the New York Jets offense, because I mean, we have a blue ball throwing the ball, and there's just we're not getting it out. It's an absolute disaster. He's huge. Todd Gurley, this year he's to me he's not what he was. I don't know. I could be wrong in this one, but personally, I don't like Todd Gurley as much this year as I did in the past years. Chark, I mean, I'm gonna have to. I love him. I tried taking him from Baby Sal multiple times. He won't give him up easily. I don't know why he's obsessed with him, but I mean, I know why he's obsessed with him, but I want him, and it's just not going to happen. I absolutely love him. I think he should be starting every week until proven otherwise. But I think he's got a good team, especially with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback here. He's going to stay on top, I think, and I'm gonna say that. And you're going to hear from me first. He's going to stay up there. He'll get a good playoff run for sure.
All right, Baby Sal. So Junior's got some high hopes for you. I think I'm kind of on the shelf a little bit. I don't think your points for speak for the quality of your team. I think, like you said, you leave some points on your bench. You have one of the deeper teams. Sometimes you just start the wrong guy. But in terms of depth, you're definitely one of the strongest teams. I love the Cortland Sutton pick. I think Cortland Sutton and DJ Shark should probably stay as your two starting receivers for now, unless anything drastic changes. Stephon Diggs gets traded to the Patriots or something, because I know he's not happy where he is. I like Mike Gallup in the flex. You already talked about that. Your running backs are okay, but the floor they're giving you will give you enough to win. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's always safe for like a 30-point week. He didn't look good last week, but I think that we will expect to bounce back from him, especially because the Chiefs lost. And you got a pretty easy week versus Joey this week. If you get that win, you'll be 5-1. You'll be sitting pretty, looking almost like a lock for a playoff spot. You want to shoot for 8, maybe even 9 wins to lock up a playoff spot. And you're right there. Not even halfway through the season, you're getting wins. He's doing it. Baby Sal is doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
And I like it this year. He's into it.
He is. He's definitely into it.
You're muted. You're muted. Oh Lord, he's just gonna continue to talk. You're muted.
So since I'm gonna advocate. Yeah, I'm here now. I just didn't want to hear the background noise when I walked in.
You're good.
So to advocate for myself, since we're on the topic, and thank you guys for touching on it. I can sit on Stephon Diggs and hope that he goes to another team or steps up or whatever the case is. But I am looking to trade him because you see my depth at receiver. It'll give me one less decision to make. I need a tight end, and I'll take any value for him that's worth it. So please reach out for Stephon Diggs if you're interested before it's too late. I think there's a lot of upside there. And I'm done with it. So, just to give me a little time to put that out there. And number 1 is number 7, which is right there.
All righty. So we got a bold statement from Baby Sal there.
5-1, baby. Here we go.
You heard it from him first. He's looking to trade Stephon Diggs. He's looking for that 5-1 spot, and to keep moving up our rankings. Coming up after him is actually his little brother, Luke Liguori.
Wow.
Coming in at 3-2. We personally believe that he has one of the better teams, especially on paper. He is the 4th most points in the league. the 4th overall spot in the current rankings. We have him 3rd in the power rankings. I think on paper he has a great team. We saw that he left Will Fuller on his bench last week. He claims that he took Will Fuller out right before and he was about to start him. If that's truly the case, that sucks. That's definitely heartbreaking for him. Fuller dropped 55 points, and he was and Luke was on the second, the worst half, I should say, of the beatdown delivery. Chris Hansen last week. Chris Hansen dropped the league-breaking 180 points. He had an awesome week for his first win. But Luke Liguori ran into a train 2 weeks in a row. He played me, and then he played Chris Hansen. I think he still has one of the better teams in the league. His running back duo is amazing. Disley is a nice tight end start. Amari Cooper has looked lights out. He's been Dak's go-to guy at 200 yards last week. He's been making he scored a touchdown every single game besides one. Lamar Jackson, a great late end pick at quarterback. He's like a top 5 quarterback. Every week you're going to start him. And if Will Fuller could do a quarter of what he did last week in the flex for Luke Liguori, I think he'll have no problem bouncing back versus Don this week. I like his team a lot. I think we'll see him in the playoffs for sure, making a run. What do you guys think?
He's got a great team. Kenny Galladay, you got Dalvin Cook, who I love, Kamara, Disley. The list just goes on and on. I mean, if I was him, I mean, it probably doesn't even matter at this point. But Baker Mayfield, you might as well drop him. He's of no use, and I personally think he should be dropped in all formats. Jamison Crowder, even on the bench, he's awesome. I mean, not right now with Luke Falk under center, but once Sam Darnold gets back and he gets that connection that he had with Sam Darnold as he did last year, they're a dynamic duo for sure. He did get the Ito Smith pickup this week, who I actually almost streamed as well, but I ended up going with Chase Edmonds. Ito Smith's great in PPR, I would say. He's got a good team. I'm trying to steal some people from him, but he's not really budging. He's trying to give me these whack trades, but I'm not budging for that either. He's got a good matchup too. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be able to blow that one out of the water here and go back up to his winning streak. And he's definitely a playoff team in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, one thing you could look at the league transactions every Wednesday morning, and you're going to see Luke's name pop up maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So,
Absolutely.
and that's just for the waiver wire itself. That doesn't include it, throughout the rest of the week. So he's always on top of everything. He's going to be involved each and every week. He will make trades. He's just a smart manager, so he's not going to just step into anything. So it's not easy to make a trade with somebody like that. But he does. I mean, if he really wants to get one done, he does have to come to some type of agreement. To be quite honest, he was ready to give me Amari Cooper. I didn't want to take him because I had Gallup. It didn't make sense to end up with both of them. Reasons of that. I don't want to go too far into it.
Yep.
So he will make a trade. You got to figure out when you guys are doing trades. I don't like I did with Don. Figure out who they're willing to give up, and then who are you willing to give up, and maybe go that route. Because I think we get caught up in who we want, and then it doesn't get anywhere. I never really thought of that till now, but maybe that'll help everyone moving forward on trades. I know we all want to get the best of a trade, but at the end of the day, trades are not going to be easy. With people know what the fuck they're doing. So, figure out when you can get the value and they can get someone that they want as well, and move from there. I mean, and at the end of the day, me and Luke just couldn't come to something that made sense. Like me having Cooper and Gallup didn't make sense. So, I need Disley. I tried to get Disley off the waiver, but Luke, being on top of it like he always is, got him first, and I imploded my budget. And the only reason I guess he's not second is because of his record, right? I mean, other than that, I would put him number 2. So I'd put Luke breathing down your back, still.
Yeah, Luke is Luke. Yeah, I mean, Luke had a rough.
He needs respect, That's the only thing I'm concerned with.
Luke had.
I know he's my brother, but
Luke had a week. Luke put up less points than the commissioner this week. Than Sal. How many points Luke actually?
If he didn't lose this week, I would put him at 2 as well. I mean, that was a tough loss, but I would put him.
Commissioner did have a good week too, Right?
He put up 142 points last week.
Yeah.
The commissioner put up 160. He won, and Sal has the second most points in the entire league. So I'm gonna not put him second, but the fact of the matter we all agree on. Luke Liguori's not going anywhere, man. His team's solid. I expect him to bounce back.
Yeah. Basically, that top three is not really going anywhere as far as power.
So yeah, we're gonna go into number 2 now. We got the Commissioner Sal. He took care of business last week against Junior, which I expected he would. From top to bottom, he's got one of the strongest teams. Christian McCaffrey is just an absolute beast this year.
That's right.
He really cannot be stopped. Derrick Henry's with a nice, 10, 15 point floor. He's obviously that big goal line back, so he's been getting a touchdown pretty much every week. Austin Hooper is a nice tight end pickup. He's, getting 5-6 catches a game. Matt Ryan's looking at him in the end zone. I think that Austin Hooper is definitely a nice pickup. He's like a borderline tight end 1. And I'm just saying, imagine Sal didn't draft AB and he took someone else in that spot. Imagine he took Amari Cooper or Thielen or something. Imagine how much more deadly his team would be. I mean, it still is. I think Tyler Lockett's Russell Wilson's go-to guy. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are rolling. They're 4-1. That offense is looking good. I think Tyler Lockett's going to continue to produce. He's sliding in this week. Alshon Jeffrey, he's that big body guy for Carson Wentz. He's the red zone threat. He was a little bit banged up, but for 2 of the 3 games Alshon Jeffrey's played, he scored a touchdown. So, he's a big 6'4", 6'5" guy. Wentz is going to be looking to him in the red zone. I like Sal's team a lot, man. He can compete with any of the top teams. If Melvin Gordon gets back to the role that he used to have with the Chargers and they give Eckler a little bit of a backseat, he's really going to be a problem because, he's got a strong squad top to bottom.
I agree with all of that. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's arguably the best fantasy player this season. I mean, just look at his points for it. It's ridiculous. 42 the first week. I mean, he had a bust the week 2, 7 points. So he went right back up to 29 to 33 to 49. And then he's got Tampa Bay again, which he had his bust of 7 points in week 2. So we'll see what he does this week. But, I mean, he's still arguably the best fantasy football player this season for sure. Jared Goff, I same thing as with Todd Gurley. I don't like him this season as much as I did last season. He's just, his floor's all over the place. I mean, the last 2-3 weeks he was okay. Week 4 he put up 30 points, which was decent. But then if you look at week 1, he has 12 points. Then he has 2 back-to-back 20s and then another 20 in week 5. It's just, I think there's better quarterbacks to stream. I mean, if he had a better quarterback, his team would be absolutely deadly. But I mean, his team is deadly still. Even Derrick Henry, I love Derrick Henry. He's got Melvin Gordon back, which was big on his part. Like you said, if Antonio Brown was here, who knows what his role would have been in New England, but it would have just made it worse. Adrian Peterson was a good pickup this week. I think he got him off the waiver wires. He should have a huge game against Miami. Anyone playing Miami should have a huge game, realistically. Like you said, he's definitely a top 4 team for sure. I think Luke has a better team than him, but according to stats, obviously he's definitely top 2, and he should have a breeze this week, beating Don's Chubb. We'll see. That would be a great matchup, actually. I'm looking forward to that one.
Matchup of the week for sure.
Sure, yeah.
Baby Sal, what do you think about the other Sal's team?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to see next week when McCaffrey has a bye. McCaffrey's been probably the best player in the league, and I think definitely an MVP candidate, if not the MVP candidate. Gordon coming back is huge. I mean, there's no doubt that he gets on track, right, boys? I mean, I don't know why he's even trying to trade him away. Yeah. I think his team needs Gordon. Obviously, losing AB is huge, so I wouldn't trade away Gordon. I think AB is already enough of a hit. Damian Williams is off IR, but he's on his IR. So, I mean, he's back now too, which helps. And, I think for him, it's really playing out the bye, seeing what happens when McCaffrey's on a bye or has an off week. Can the rest of his team hold up? Really good, yeah. Any team can get beat. He's got one of the better teams for sure. No doubt in that. His team's stacked all around, but 170 you're not going to put up 170 every week. So,
especially during a bye week.
I already beat him, so I'm not worried.
I like that.
Let me see. So, coming into number 1, the top dog yet again, yours truly. I am the one that's going to be playing the commissioner this week. Is definitely my toughest matchup of the year. I I don't like to toot my own horn, but my squad is very, very strong, top to bottom. Odell has not been doing what I've expecting him to do, so I have to say a letdown on my team. It's definitely him. But I got enough superstars that could pick up the slack. Michael Thomas, Russell Wilson, Chubb, Mark Andrews. These are all guys that could, even Carson, these guys that can drop big week. They can kind of pick up one of my guys that are not doing their job because I have so many guys that have the potential to have a big week. I actually meant to drop Steelers defense. I have 3. I usually like to carry 2 defenses.
I was going to touch on that. I don't know why 2 defenses.
Yeah, I was actually meant to drop them, but to be honest, there wasn't really anyone. Our waiver, we talked about before. Our waiver wire is so damn thin now. So there wasn't anybody I wanted.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh.
I picked up guys in all my other leagues besides.
This week.
I would keep Pittsburgh over Dallas. Defense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start Dallas.
Pittsburgh's on the upswing.
I'm starting Dallas versus the Jets this week.
But has Buffalo really been that good?
They're going to be.
Why not?
I like the way Buffalo's looked. I feel like they have an easy schedule. They play the Dolphins. They play the Jets a couple times. So I'm
putting up some points. So.
I've kind of just been hopping back and forth with my defense.
Yeah, Dallas is. Even though I'm a Dallas fan, I don't trust fantasy wise.
Yeah, I'm probably going to rock
the Jets. I get it. Against the Jets, make perfect.
Yeah, so. I've just been kind of streaming defense. That's one thing I don't really have too strong.
Just hold on to 3 and then drop Dallas next week. Keep Pittsburgh and Buffalo, dude.
Your team's clearly a playoff team, but like you said, OBJ to me is a bust.
OBJ's your weak point. That's crazy. Yeah.
If Mayfield under center, I just don't see him doing anything. I mean, they have so many targets as well. With Mayfield under center, there's no way he's going to equally split it up or even complete as many passes that he should be completing.
Jacobs is on a bye.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin's definitely a must-start. Did you pick him up on the waiver wire as well this week, I'm assuming, against Miami?
He's a monster.
Yeah, Chris Carson.
Yeah, there's one issue.
Even Cleveland for sure.
For you.
Michael Thomas, you know how much I would die for him. They're not giving him up.
Oh, he's a monster, man.
Your receivers are thin. I mean, just in general. I mean, injuries. Obviously, Odell's already fucking up, but injuries really could fuck you. I mean, not they can't fuck any team, but I think the depth is what could fuck you in the long run. But hopefully, that doesn't happen. You know.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, you have OBJ, Michael Thomas, and McLaurin, and then that's it. Your bench is empty of wide receivers.
You still have trade value, so
yeah.
Make more trades.
I'm deep at running back on the bench, obviously.
Yeah.
James White and Josh Jacobs could be a RB1 or an RB2 for half the teams in this league right now. I got them both. So if anyone wants to be willing to trade some wide receiver,
some good value to Jacobs.
Make moves on that.
Maybe me and you can make something happen.
Definitely have to talk about that. So yeah, not much more I have to say about my squad. Going on each week, I put up 178, I think, last week, which is my biggest week yet. But I'm going to be looking forward to me versus the commissioner this week, number 1 versus number 2 spot. I think that's definitely the matchup of the week. Any other big matchups before we close out that you guys are looking forward to this week? Any sleepers? I like the I think the Junior versus Nick matchup is very big in terms of positioning wise. I think they're kind of both Nick's in 2 and 3. Junior's 3 and 2. They're both very close in points for and stuff. I think they're breathing down each other's neck. I think that's a big match I'm going to keep my eyes out for as well.
I agree with that. I think the only other matchup we want to look at is Ant Squared versus Nick, the other Nick. Reason being is 0-6. I think you're done. So I think this is a win and in type of situation from here on out for them. And I think Mark, it'd be nice to see him start to bounce back as well. So I know it's not the best matchup of the week, but I'm looking at it, you know.
I would like to see a bounce back too, but just looking at that matchup, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean,
you might as well get it prepped up for that naked mile, you know.
Nick Tooch has been upset for the past 3. I think all of his losses were upsets versus the guys that we really thought were.
Could be a tough one.
Pretty much.
I played him week 1, which is even pretty good matchup. Other than that, I mean, yeah, he lost to Don. He lost to you. Both teams that weren't supposed to beat him. So
almost choked to N squared.
And Tooch, we've seen it that his team can put up big numbers, but could also put up really crappy numbers. So he drops another one of those 90, 95-point weeks. We could be looking at Ant Squared's first win. That would be funny to see. So if I had to say an upset alert, I would say that.
That's it. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
I mean,
for sure.
You know how much I love Sal's team here. Playing Joey this week. I don't
though.
I think that matchup can go either way. Personally, I mean, like I said, I love Sal's team. I think he's got a top 3 team for sure, and they'll stay that way, if not better. But I think Joey might be able to do something this week. I mean, his players got great matchups. Matt Ryan should be definitely one of the top quarterbacks this week against Arizona. A crumbling Arizona secondary, just getting worse and worse by the day. David Johnson's hurt. That's the only thing I'd be concerned about. Devonta Freeman, huge matchup again against the Cardinals. I see a lot of potential this week for him. So it could be a close matchup for sure. But definitely Sal's obviously the better team, and we'll stay that way.
Yep. Tyreek Hill coming back. Be on the alert for Joey.
Yep.
I think this is a huge week of fantasy football, period, though. Week 6.
Yeah, it's a
swing week.
But this shit starts to get serious. People really start thinking playoffs.
Yeah, technically it's halfway through, right? Week 6, because what does playoffs start? Week 12, bro?
After this week.
Week 13, I believe, is the last regular season.
So after this week,
matchup. Yeah. So week 14. Yeah, so we're almost halfway. We're probably about 45% done with the season. This is where bye weeks really start kicking in, as we see, around the week 5, week 6 range. So where teams, that's where you really realize where your depth is at. What guys you need to pick up, what guys you need to make trades, because bye weeks are going to fuck a lot of guys, including my team. Luckily, I don't have too many bye weeks right now, but they're coming up. It's going to happen for everybody. That's one thing that we cannot avoid in fantasy. So I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to chatting next week with everyone again. Is there anything that either of you guys would like to say before we close out this phenomenal episode? We're coming a little bit over an hour, so I don't want to be too long.
I think that's really it. I mean, good luck to everyone. I'm open for trades. Whoever wants to do it, I'm always open for it. You never know. So hit me up. And good luck.
Just stay positive. Again, after this week, we've just hit our halfway point next week. So there's a whole half a regular season left. Don't give up. I know these are the swing weeks. So pay attention. Honestly, we want it to be competitive. So, I don't want to breeze into playoffs and I'm not even hitting my full stride. Like I should be fighting for a playoff spot, like obviously want to make the playoffs, but we want to make it competitive. I want, in the chat, there should be more people involved. I get on there to have fun and talk with you guys. You know what I mean? That's really all I'm looking to do. That's it, man. Let's make this fun. Let's enjoy the weekend. And if anyone's looking to hang out, hit me up for at least the night game. I'll be around for that. And let's hit the bars together too. That shit's fun. Get everyone out.
Well said. Baby Sal is looking for more league bonding, more collaboration, more reaching out for trades, more reaching out for chats, talking about football, talking about fantasy, things in general, keeping the lead tight together as always. Great episode, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for both of our guests. We are going to release the power rankings tomorrow. The written ones, although we went over them tonight, we're going to try to release the podcast by tomorrow or Friday, depending on when I get the video rendered. And I want to wish everyone a great week, and we will catch you on the next episode.